I'm gonna finish this round. This got done listening to that Kendrick Lamar album, The Pimp A Butterfly, and I mean, it got me on some shit. Now I know some of you hip hop purists are probably like, okay, let's go to the album, blah blah blah. I understand some of your sentiments. I mean, in response to people calling it a classic, and some of y'all might be like, come on now, I mean, it's a good album, but it ain't. But I think, in this generation, what I mean? Like, in this generation, we are experiencing their fresh. You know what I'm saying? We celebrated originality. We celebrated the freshness of somebody's angle on things, whether that was, them using their voice in a different way, them using lyrics in a different way, wearing their clothes in a different way, DJing in a different way, doing your writing graffiti in a different way. Like, difference was celebrated. You know what I mean? Because that would be understood to be part of the process of advancing our culture. You know what I'm saying? Was, us digging into all the different parts that make up what hip hop is. You know what I mean? Um, so we celebrated fresh. You know what I mean? Like fresh was one of the dopest slang terms, um, to use. And when I talked to some of the youth today about Kendrick Lamar, like I asked some 7th or 8th graders, like, what y'all think about Kendrick? You know, and it'd be like, I mean, he's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, he cool. He good. I mean, he can rap. Like, he's good. I mean, I don't know. He like, I mean, he different. You know what I'm saying? But like, I mean, he good. Like, but he just different. Like, and I remember receiving an answer like that one day, and I said, "Oh, you know what? I know what you're trying to say about him. Y'all just don't have a word for it." Y'all are saying that Kendrick Lamar is fresh. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's fresh. But y'all don't have like a word that like celebrates freshness. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just very interesting that they just didn't have that slang term. You know what I'm saying? That absolutely meant the celebration of originality. You know what I'm saying? Um, like it was just, and it was a dope moment to me to see that there's a lot of the youth that are attracted to freshness. They just don't know how to identify it sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Because they've been pumped up with so much, you know, things that weren't fresh. You know what I'm saying? Like all day long. You know what I'm saying? And freshness is like alien to them. They know it's different. They even have an attraction for it. You know what I'm saying? They just don't know how to embrace it or respond to it. You know what I'm saying? Um, or they don't know how to consciously connect to it because some of them are unconsciously or subconsciously attracted to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, I same 7th and 8th graders we talk about hip hop and it's like, oh, you probably like that old school, huh, Mr. Lesson? I'm like, well, of course. You know what I'm saying? And they said that they wanted to hear I Ain't No Joke about Rakim. Eric B and Rakim. I was like, what y'all know about that? They was like, man, that's hard. I was like, what? So I go with my phone, you know what I mean? I pull up the video, song come on. And they started singing along with the lyrics. So I was like, oh, what? 7th, 8th graders. I ain't no joke. I mean, they just started nodding their head and they was quiet and they was listening to everything. Like, it was dope. These are the children that I see every day totally attracted to the trap music. And you would think that, like, they wouldn't be attracted to the hip hop that we grew up on. But they were. I mean, nodding their heads and like totally connected to it. You know what I'm saying? And I think a part of that is because of the relationship that I had created with them, which was, I'm not going to diss what they listen to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't sit here in front, like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, shoot, in 88, uh, NWA and Too Short and, you know what I mean, Ice Cube and, man, Ice T. I mean, they was coming out saying some very harsh things on the mic. A bitch is a bitch. And, you know what I mean, we all said, fuck you, bitch, and kept going. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew these lyrics. I was 11 years old. And I knew these lyrics. I knew these lyrics inside out. And knew what they were talking about. Yeah. At 11, 12. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was listening to all of that. Now, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Maybe a difference is I grew up listening also to groups like Public Enemy, groups like Boogie Down Productions, and, Queen Latifah, you know, Jungle Brothers. I mean, uh, I did have access to that too. I mean, I had both. I had both worlds. You know what I'm saying? And that accurately reflected the hood that we was growing up in. And just depending on like what part of the hood are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like in this part of the hood, you get the brothers dropping the knowledge and the sisters dressed in African. And, you get that, the Muslim brothers. And that's a part of the hood. You know what I'm saying? Then you go to another part of the hood, you know what I'm saying? And might be some gangs and some cliques and some crews that are not getting along and fighting and sometimes killing one another. That's that's a part of the same hood. You know what I'm saying? then like you go down and you know what I mean, you you see the brothers who just are just angry, just ready to fight all the time, getting in trouble all the time. That's a part of the hood. Then you go to another part of the hood, and you got brothers who got dreams and want to be architects and doctors and lawyers and want to like they got huge dreams and they go to school and they do their best because they really want to make mommy or daddy or both of them happy or grandma. They got good hearts even though they might not have been dealt the greatest cards, but for some reason they see more. That's also in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you had people who just like to dance, who just was gifted at dancing, gifted in singing, gifted in, like, I mean, all of this is part of the hood. The hood got that one little girl who can really sing. You know what I'm saying? Like my daughter can sing. You know what I mean? Like, my daughter don't just sing cute. She can sing, yo. Oh my goodness. I mean, hold notes and just, man. We all know that. We all know that one cat that could really dance in the hood. I mean, we all knew that one cat who could just fix everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all knew that mom that just had a presence. You know what I'm saying? That people would have to go to school for years to learn how to have. You know what I mean? Her etiquette, her principles. Like, man, I had an aunt who lived in the projects, and my first association of the project was a negative because of my aunt. I would go over her house, and her house was laid out. It was beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even realize like this project is supposed to be this very dark, negative place because of my experience of going over my aunt's house. And it wasn't until like later on in life I'm like, oh wow. So you mean even in the midst of this darkness, my aunt was in it, but not of it. All of that used to be expressed in hip hop songs. You know what I'm saying? All expressing what we have experienced in the hood based on our relationship to what was going on in the hood. I mean, based on your relationship with one of those things, there's also domestic violence going on, rape, molestation, suicides. But there's also graduations, celebrations, block parties, picnics, family reunions, promotions, change in behaviors, overcoming addictions that are big in our community. We also see that happen. That's also going on in the hood. And we also see those who were at that height of elevation and celebration in the hood fall. We've seen mothers turn to crackheads right before our eyes. That also happens in the hood. So hip hop used to talk about all of that. And you were pulled by hip hop based on what you had a relationship to in that hood. I know at 11 years old, I had a relationship with drugs. It's in my home. I had a relationship to domestic violence because it's in my home. I had a relationship to poverty because it's in my home. I had a relationship to alcoholism because it's in my home. Depression because it's in my home. But my mother read to me. My mother would find the time to grab a book, a big red Bible, or Curious George books, or Sweet Pickles books, and take me in the corner of a living room. And she would read to me. And then do her best to explain these things to me about what was being presented in the story or the information that she was sharing with me. She always asked me to critically think about what was just read. My mother was an amazing teacher. In the midst of her depression, in the midst of going through so much, in the midst of being abused emotionally and physically and being embarrassed and not living in her own home, living with her sister, with her children. In the midst of all of that, my mother would still find the time to grab her son up and take him into a corner of a room and open up the Bible. Open up the Bible, this African American or African heritage Bible. And in the middle of the book, they got these pictures of Moses and his wife. Mom, Pharaoh, all of a brown complexion, showing you the names of places that are letting you know that they are talking about Africans. So my mother was giving me spiritual and cultural instruction at a very early age. And she was giving it to me at the same time, along with critical thinking and feeling the sadness of the slaves, feeling the sadness of Jesus, feeling the sadness of the mothers in the Bible, feeling. She wanted me to also feel. What do you think that made her feel like? How does that make you feel? These are the questions my mother would ask me when she would read to me. I'm experiencing this also in the hood. So I have a way of connecting with some of these 7th and these 8th graders because one, I don't judge what they listen to. I listen to what they're listening to. So that can inform me what's going on. Like, why was I 11 and so attracted to this type of music? I mean, now I loved all facets of hip hop. I love the dancing, the gangster. I love the corny. I love the weird. I love the complex. I love the simple. I love the East Coast, the West Coast, down South. You know what I'm saying? Like I've never been a person who was like, man, I'm just on that East Coast. I've never been a person like, man, I only fucks with the South. You know, I've never been a person who's like, man, I'm only West Side. You know what I'm saying? I was this person who, man, if it's dope to me. Like I don't care where it's from. I don't care how different the East Coast production sounds versus the West Coast productions versus the South production in Mid East or Midwest, whatever. Like I never really got focused on that. I just stay focused. Like, do I like it? You know what I'm saying? Do I understand it? Do I connect with it? You know what I'm saying? And then if I do, like, why am I connecting with this? And why do I think others are connecting with this? Oh, this gives me so much more of appreciation of the things that I listen to when I understand the purpose. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever I believe is the purpose anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not just hearing something on accident. You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing with purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like I understand that chime and I understand that symbol and I understand that beat right there. I understand that pause. I understand why he flowed and slowed down, flowed and he went boom, 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 and punctuated it right there. Like I love listening to things like that. You know what I mean? Maybe how somebody who's really into like orchestras listens to, you know, all the different instrumentation. Like it's the same way that I listen to like a hip hop song. I really feel like, you know, hip hop songs are compositions and they're so layered, even when you think they're simple. I mean, there's so much purpose behind why they if there's only little two components to the song, if it's only like there's a reason why they only chose that, you know what I'm saying? And when understand that reason, like you can jam to it. You can, you know what I mean? Like we have many hip hop songs. It seems very simple, you know what I'm saying? But we heard so much with it, you know what I mean? Um, but I was getting my first instruction on how to listen to those things by my mother taking the time to read to me and assist me to critically think and feel what I'm reading. You know what I'm saying? So I think that since I don't judge them, they don't feel embarrassed to be themselves around me. The world is available to me since I don't judge it. They let me into the world. There's no way that I can get inside their world if if they don't feel that they can trust me in their world. You know what I'm saying? they reveal a lot to me. And I know that that is because I have earned trust into the world. To me, that's one of the missing components of some of the groups in Pittsburgh that tries to go out here and reach out to the youth, man. Like, you got to gain interest into the world. Like, there's no way you're going to be able to change anything from the outside, because the issues that are affecting them are from the inside, and you got to be able to gain interest inside. And there's going to be a lot of resistance to that, because some of them see change as taking away their life. So when you come talking about this change, they're hearing takeaway, and they will fight you for what they consider is their life, and maybe take your life. So you won't ever have another opportunity to try to take away their life. That's what's needed, is that trust. And there are malevolent, I hope I pronounced it correctly, but there are those with negative, ulterior motives who know that too. And they gain interest into that world. And use it to their disadvantage. That's why those of us who say that we care about them, man, like, we gotta get inside their world and talk to them from there. And then you'll realize, you've been in that world. You might even find out you still are in that world. You just responded differently than he or she is. So then you ain't really just getting him or her out, you getting yourself out too. Because the truth has arrived, and we all have learned that the truth will set you free. I haven't had an album make me talk like this in a long time. That Kendrick Lamar to Pimp A Butterfly is a classic. Yes, it is. I just wanted to prove that. Just showing you the effect that album is having on some of us out here, whether it moves you or not. I'm just telling you, this is why millions of us right now are affected by that album. And if you don't understand, then maybe you got to figure out a way to gain entrance inside that world so that you can understand from the inside out. You know what I'm saying? And don't go inside with any judgment. You know what I'm saying? Go inside seeking to understand. So when you seek to understand, even when you disagree, well, that's not going to stop your connection, because you didn't go in here to agree. You went in here to understand. You see what I'm saying? Understanding creates unity. And that's what you're really seeking, is unity. At least that's what you should be seeking if you are striving to come inside. So, yeah, I think it's a classic. And like I said, it just got me on some other ish. Got me wanting to write at a whole more personal level. I mean, I've already been taking those steps, with the book of Ezra. But I think musically, I've never really been that personal, and I think I'm beginning to be ready to take that step. So if you want to assist that process, you're a producer. You know what I'm saying? You know me, you know my soul, you know my spirit, you know my flow. And you feel like you authentically desire to assist me in a musical project that I feel that will be more personal, hit me up. You know what I'm saying? Hit me up. You know, inbox me, Leslie Ezra Smith, Facebook. You can email me, Leslie Ezra Smith at gmail.com, or you can call 412-523-7503. All right? All right, I'm out here. 5,000 G.